السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Inshallah, today we are continuing from where we stopped in the previous lesson. And if you can remember, we were looking at a brief history about Imam Malik, Malik ibn Anas. And then we got to this particular point where we learned that he used not كان لا يركب في المدينة, this particular point. And I think we stop at this particular sentence. So without wasting much time, let's just continue مباشرة. So the author continued by saying that وكان مجلسه مجلس وقار وحلم, and his majlis, bimana his gathering. Majlis is, of course, we all know jalasa yajlisu, and then from it we have majlis, which is ism makan. It could be ism makan, and then also, but here it is actually in English we see that circle of knowledge. That's what we term as majlis. Okay, a circle of knowledge. So you know, when several scholars and then even students of knowledge, when they sit around, mostly in a circular form, just see them sitting and then they are sharing knowledge. That's what we term as a majlis, a circle of knowledge. So he used to have circles of knowledge. That's what they are saying. وَكَانَ مَجْلِسُهُ مَجْلِسَ وَقَارٍ. It was a majlis of waqar. When we say waqar, it means dignity. Oh, that is clear. It means dignity. وَحِلْمٍ, and then knowledge. It was a circle where knowledge is shared. Hilm could be knowledge. It could mean several things. Of course, another meaning, and the most common one is forbearance, extreme patience. That's what we term as hilm. It could be hilm, but here it means knowledge. So that is what they are saying. His majlis, his circle of knowledge used to be a circle of dignity. It used to have dignity, and then, knowledge is shared. وَكَانَ رَجُلًا مَحِيبًا, and he himself, he was a man who had some awe. He was a person of dignity. When we say hype, okay, hype means awe. In English we say awe. You look at a particular person and then the physical appearance of the person, it reveals some kind of dignity. So this is teaching us a lot of things. You know, in today's terminology or in today's world, you will find some Muslims who just think that as far as you are a Muslim, you shouldn't dress properly. No. If you are a Muslim, it doesn't mean you should dress anyhow. You should just, you have, your zod is to an extent that you just forget about this world to an extent. You don't even wear nice clothes. That's not how Islam, that's not how, you know, the time of Umar radiallahu anhu, he told someone like that. That's not how Islam should be portrayed. If you are a mu'min, it doesn't mean you shouldn't dress well. It shouldn't mean you should just leave this world to an extent that you don't even dress well. So that's what they are teaching us here. The facial appearance, not necessarily the physical appearance of Imam Malik, it reveals some kind of dignity. If you just see him alone, how he dressed, it shows some kind of dignity to tell you this is a person of dignity. This is, a remarkable person, without anyone telling him about him. So this is teaching us we should dress well, we should dress properly. So وَكَانَ رَجُلًا مَحِيبًا, he was a person who has some awe. If you look at him, there's a kind of dignity in his appearance. نَبِيلًا, and he was noble. He wasn't appearing good physically, and then he was someone who was boastful. He was rather nabilan, very noble. When we say nabil, it means noble. He was a very noble person. لَيْسَ فِي مَجْلِسِهِ شَيْءٌ مِنَ الْمِرَاءِ وَاللَّغَةِ. There wasn't in his majlis, in his circle of knowledge, anything of mira, quarrel, wal-lagat, and useless talk. Mira'un, here it means quarrel. You know, when two people are quarrel, it's not a place where people are sitting and then it become some kind of debate and then quarrel. People are quarreling about one another. No, it wasn't a place like that. What lagat and then useless talk. Lagat actually means useless talk. Useless talk. You just talk about things that doesn't have any benefit. You are sitting down, maybe you are backbiting about someone. Just those kind of things. Or you are talking about something that doesn't have any benefit in it. You know. So his majlis, his circle of knowledge, that wasn't a place where quarrel and then useless talk were entertained. Wala raf'u sawtin, and raising of voice. You won't see anyone raising his voice, shouting on another person. No, it was not a place like that. وَكَانَ الْغُرَبَاءُ يَسْأَلُونَهُ عَنِ الْحَدِيثِ فَلَا يُجِيبُ إِلَّا فِي الْحَدِيثِ بَعْدَ الْحَدِيثِ. And the Ghuraba, the strangers, those who were not familiar with his circle of knowledge, they used to ask questions. They used to come and ask him questions about particular hadith. Maybe he'll come and say, do you remember this particular hadith? Can you tell me about it? Something like that, about a specific hadith. Anil hadith, meaning it is ma'rifa, about a specific hadith. And he won't answer. If you come and ask him about a specific hadith, he will not answer. Illa fil hadith ba'da al hadith, except hadith after hadith. So meaning, you say, you wait, when we get to it, then you learn. You don't pick particular hadith and then you learn. You learn the entire thing. When we get to where you want, you have interest, that's where you will benefit. You will get your answer there of that is correct. So that's what he used to do. Sala Harun Rashidu Malikan an yatiya fa'aba. Harun Rashid, of course, he's a very famous person. That was the Khalifa at the time of Imam Malik. He was the Amir al-Mu'minin of the Muslims at the time of Imam Malik, Harun al-Rashid. So this Harun al-Rashid, the Khalifa, he asked Imam Malik an yatiya, to come to him, fa'aba, and then he refused. Yes, Imam Harun al-Rashid, he wanted Imam Malik to come and then to teach him. He wanted to learn certain things from Imam Malik. I think that was when he heard about his famous book that we call Al-Muwatta. Imam Malik has a famous book that we all know, Al-Muwatta. So when Imam Harun al-Rashid heard about it, he called Imam Malik to come and teach him certain things about it, from this book. So Imam Malik told him, actually, if I can still remember the quote, he told him that al-ilmu yu'ta wala ya'ti. Knowledge you have to come to knowledge. Knowledge doesn't have to come to you. Al-ilmu yu'ta wala ya'ti. Knowledge comes to knowledge. People comes to knowledge, but knowledge doesn't go to people. So you can't be in your comfort zone and you expect knowledge to come to you. You should rather go and seek for it. It is a precious thing. So that was what he told him. Very interesting. So the Khalifa, that was the Khalifa, the general, the chief, the king of the Amir, the leader of the Muslims at that time. So he understood. And so so that's what they are saying. Fa'ata Harunu Malikan. And so he understood and he went to Malik. So Harun al-Rashid, the Khalifa, he went to Malik, Imam Malik. وَهُوَ فِي مَنْزِلِهِ. While he was in his house, Imam Malik was in his home, so he went to him. وَمَعَهُ بَنُوهُ. And then his sons were with him. This Khalifa had his sons with him. وَسَأَلَ أَنْ يَقْرَأَ عَلَيْهِمْ. And he asked that it should be read on them. Meaning that, these are terminologies in hadith. There are different ways hadith is being taught. In some particular traditions, you will go and you read to the teacher, then the teacher will correct you. That's the famous one. But other traditions, you go and then the teacher will just teach you everything. He will read to you. So that's what Harun al-Rashid asked for. He asked that the hadith should be read on them. Imam Malik should read it to them. So let's see what happens. Faqala, Imam Malik said, Ma qara'tu ala ahadin munzu zamanin. I have not recited on anyone for a very long time. Munzu zamanin, for a very long time. Wa innama yuqra'u alayya. It is only read on me. It is read to me. Meaning you will have to go and prepare your notes or whatever. Then you come and read to him. Then if there is mistake, he corrects it. That's his method. That's the method he's currently using. But for you to come and then he will just teach you everything from scratch without you having a pre-knowledge about it. He does not do that. That's what he said. وَإِنَّمَا يُقْرَأَ عَلَيَّ. فَقَالَ. Then the Harun al-Rashid said, أَخْرِجِ النَّاسَ. So he said, okay, I will do that. But أَخْرِجِ النَّاسَ حَتَّى أَقْرَأَ أَنَا عَلَيْكَ. So when he came, Imam Malik, of course, there are other people, the general public who are also in his house to learn. This is Khalifa. I think I'm saying this is a knowledgeable person. We have seen in the previous lesson, just in the previous lesson before this lesson, that his use كان الناس يزدحمون عليه كما ازدحامهم على باب السلطان. How you can say, remember, people used to crowd on his door just like they are crowding on the gate of the Sultan. So people were also there learning. So when this Khalifa came, he said, Akhrijin Nasa, let the people go out. Hatta akra'a ana alayka, so that I will read to you. So teach me alone, give me special treatment. That's what he's demanding. He's saying that don't let me join them. It's like the king of the president come, and then he's in a particular class. He come to the madrasa and he's sitting in the general public class, and he's the president. So he sees it, he's not feeling comfortable with it. He's thinking, how will the people feel? Or how will the people think? Look at this, the president is in the class. What? So Imam Malik told him, you have to understand, when it comes to knowledge, you have to humble yourself before you can get the knowledge. No matter who you are, whether you have any other source of treasure in your hands, or you are a king, you are whatever, you have to humble yourself in front of knowledge. So Imam Malik told him, so what did he say? He answered by saying that, إِذَا مُنِعَ الْعَامُّ لِبَعْدِ الْخَاصِ لَمْ يَنْتَفِعِ الْخَاصُ. إِذَا مُنِعَ الْعَامُّ, if the general public is prevented, لِبَعْدِ الْخَاصِ, for some specific people, al-khas is specific, for some specific people, لَمْ يَنْتَفِعِ الْخَاصُ, those specific people, they will not learn, they will not benefit. So if you are given special treatment, we seclude you and give you a single class to teach you, you will not benefit. That's what Imam Malik is saying. You have to be in the mix of the public. Okay, you have to sit together with them. That's where you will benefit. وَدَخَلَ مَالِكٌ عَلَىٰ أَمِيرِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. So this is where it stopped, but really he did that. Harun al-Rashid, he agreed. He sat with the common people, and then he learned, he read on him. وَدَخَلَ مَالِكٌ عَلَىٰ أَمِيرِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ Mansur. Imam Malik entered upon the Amir al-Mu'minin, who is Mansur. وَهُوَ عَلَىٰ فِرَاشِهِ, and he was on his bed. إِذْ جَاءَ صَبِيٌّ يَخْرُجُ. So this Mansur, he's actually has some lineage with the Harun al-Rashid. I can't remember the exact lineage. Okay, I can't remember the exact lineage. His uncle's son or something like that. I can't remember the exact lineage. But he says that وَهُوَ عَلَىٰ فِرَاشِهِ, he was on his bed while Imam Malik entered upon him. إِذْ جَاءَ صَبِيٌّ يَخْرُجُ ثُمَّ يَرْجِعُ. A particular Sabi, a young child. Sabiyun is a very young child. So he entered. يَخْرُجُ ثُمَّ يَرْجِعُ. He goes out and then he comes in. Goes out and comes in. فَقَالَ لِي. So he said to me, this Mansur said to Imam Malik. Imam Malik just came in, and then this particular child, he's entering and leaving the room. أَتَدْرِي مَنْ هَذَا. He asked Imam Malik, do you know who is that? فَقُلْتُ. I said. So Imam Malik is speaking. لَا. I said no. قَالَ. He answered by saying that, Ibni, he's my child, he's my son. وَإِنَّمَا يَفْزَعُ مِنْ حَيْبَتِكَ. He is only afraid. Okay, he's being scared. مِنْ حَيْبَتِكَ, from your haiba. Bimana, how the awe from you, the awe from you. I mean, your dignity. If you just look at how your appearance alone, it reveals some kind of dignity. And that's what is making him scared. Haiba. So, he continued by saying that, وَفِي سَنَةِ سَبَعٍ وَأَرْبَعِينَ وَمِئَةٍ. In the year 147, okay, سَبَعٍ وَأَرْبَعِينَ وَمِئَةٍ, 147, the man after Hijrah, ضُرِبَ مَالِكٌ سَبَعِينَ سُوطًا. Imam Malik was whipped. ضُرِبَ, the man, he was lashed. Okay, he was killed. Saba'ina sultan, 70 whips. Sultan is whip. One whip is sut. لأجل fatwa lam tuwafiq garad al-sultan. Due to a fatwa, he passed a particular fatwa. Lam tuwafiq, which didn't agree with. Okay, we have the verb wafaqa yuwafiqu. It means for something to agree with another thing, for two things to be in agreement. So which didn't go in line with the garad, with the objectives of the sultan. of the sultan. So this sultan, the leader, the king, he had a particular objective. Maybe this thing should be done in this way. But Imam Malik passed a fatwa that goes against it. And so he ordered that Imam Malik should be lashed. فَغَضِبَ وَدَعَ بِهِ. He got angry. وَدَعَ بِهِ. And he called him. He called that he should be brought. وَجَرَّدَهُ. And he stripped him. Jarrada actually means to strip something. Okay, from it we have mujarrad. Mujarrad, even in now, in grammar, sarf, we have mujarrad. Mujarrad means a verb, mainly a verb, verbs. Mujarrad, verbs. It means verb in its normal form. There's nothing attached to it. It is naked. So from it, that's mujarrad, naked. So jarrada, yujarridu. It means to strip something and make it naked. That's jarrada. So wajarradahu, he stripped him naked. Wadarabahu bisiyat. And he lashed him with siyat, with whips. Wamuddat yaduhu. And then he straightened his hands. Hatta in khala'at katifuhu. Until his katif is the shoulders. Okay, the shoulders in khala'at. When we say in khala'a, it means for something to dislocate. You see, something is fixed at this particular point. Then you make it shift from that point. You have dislocated it off. You have shifted it from its original position. That is in khala'a. So hatta in khala'at katifuhu. His shoulders, you see the shoulder joint. His shoulders were that socket. We call it socket. The shoulder, the socket there. It dislocated. So the hand was not normally, again, the structure. فَلَمْ يَزَلْ بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ الضَّرْبِ فِي أُلُوٍ وَرِفْعَةٍ. And after that, بعد ذلك بمعنى بعد ذلك الضرب, after that whips, that lashes, لم يزل في ألو. He was still in rise, ورفعة, in height, great heights. بمعنى all these whips, after all these whips, it didn't degrade him. He was still rising. His name, his knowledge, the knowledge that he spread, the good works that he did, it was still rising. That's what they are saying. Ulu, rise. Height. Warif atin in height. Basically, they are similar things. Also, ulu, from the verb here is ala ya'lu, for something to be in great height. Okay. And then rif atin is similar thing. Rafa'a, to raise something. Rifa'a is the noun form, which means rising. وَكَأَنَّمَا كَانَتْ تِلْكَ السِّيَاتِ. As if those siyat, those whips that they have whipped him with, haliyan, was a jewel, hulliya bihi, which decorated him. It was, instead of it degrading him, it was as if a jewel, haliyan, it was as if a jewel that they used to decorate him. Hulliya bihi, he was decorated with. That action that the Sultan took against him, whipping him, it only raised the name of Imam Malik. It only raised him it only decorated his name. وَكِتَابُهُ الْمُوَطَّأ. And then his kitab, the famous book Al-Muwatta, mainly it is a book of hadith. Okay, this Muwatta, min ashhari kutubil hadith, is among the famous books of hadith. وَمِنَ الْكُتُبِ الْمَقْبُولَةِ فِي الْإِسْلَامِ. And from the accepted books in Islam, of course it is accepted. Most people benefit a lot, and then students of knowledge learn this a lot. I think, let's listen to what he said. رَزَقَكَ اللَّهُ قِرَاءَتُهُ. He said that may Allah grant you, you the reader or you the listener, may Allah grant you the reading, the ability to read this book, وَالْإِنْتِفَاءَ بِهِ, and benefiting from it. وَسَيَكُونُ ذَلِكَ إِنْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ فِي بِدْعِ سِنِينَ. And this, this will be in bid'i sinin, in 3 to 9 years. إِذَا تَقَدَّمْتَ فِي الْعِلْمِ. If you move in front, if you go forward in knowledge. He's still looking at us to be very young when it comes to seeking knowledge. So he's saying that when we rise, our level go forward, we will we will have the ability to learn this book. توفي مالك سنة 79 و100. Imam Malik, he died in the year 179 after Hijri. 179 after Hijri. Inshallah, we'll stop here and we'll continue in the next lesson.